XOXO guys, hugs and kisses. Today we are back for the latest installment of the Supercharged Super Audio Show. Why XOXO? Well, because today we will be talking about the spanking new Simgot EW300. Although a brother to the EW200, the EW300 features very different internals from the EW200. This time round with a set of drivers first seen at this price point. I am excited. Simgot has been trying out plenty of stuff with their packaging on their flagship, the EM10. Well, packaging on that was simply superb. The Super Mix 4 is also pretty refined as well. Here, packaging on the EW300 is certainly a lot more fun. Featuring prominently the XOXO motif on the sleeve, what is cool about it is that on the heart and the crosshair, there is a gradation on it, adding some depth to the look. They are certainly stepping up, and I love these sort of things. Props to them. At the back of the sleeve, you will note that there are two curves here, as the EW300 will feature two different nozzles. With the silver nozzle, it aims to target Simgot's own reference curve, while the gold nozzle has the Harman 2019 curve in its sights. Removing the sleeve, we then have something more similar if you own other Simgot IEMs. You first have some line art of the EW300, which looks plenty cool. Below that, you will see the chassis of the EW300 in foam. We will talk about build quality a little later. Under that will be some gear tips. You also get a carrying case. Hidden within are the 2-pin cable as well as the golden nozzles, extra O-rings and some foam filters for you to tweak the sound to your heart's content. Build quality. The EW300 features a beautiful metal chassis that shares a silhouette with the EW200, but finished much better. The sides are beautifully evenly polished. They have a raised section for the nozzle which allows for a better fit. I love it when companies add flair to their products, otherwise we will just end up having really boring designs. Faceplate on the EW300 features an X on the left and a heart on the right. This is pretty fresh. Personally, I am really quite sick of swirly whirly faceplates, or those that have some art just lasered on it. There is extra depth on the faceplate of the EW300. At the heart of the EW300, you have a 10mm ceramic composite dynamic driver with dual chambers, a 6mm annular planar magnetic driver, and lastly a piezoelectric ceramic driver. Quite an eclectic mix of drivers first seen at this price point. The EW300 features 2-pin sockets for easy cable swaps. Cable provided here is a high purity silver plated copper cable that ends with a 3.5mm termination. For a stock cable, they certainly look pretty. Sound. The EW300 is very interesting as it is the first company to employ 3 different driver types in an affordable price point. This creates a very interesting tonal color compared to the competition. Simgot manages to harmonize the use of 3 different driver types to create something that is sonically beautiful, that allows for the strength of each driver to show through. Bass is handled by the dynamic drivers, mids by the planar, and treble by the piezoelectric tweeter. About the nozzles, the silver nozzle renders mid-range a little more forward and a little more engaging. The gold nozzle, on the other hand, is a bit more laid back. I found that the difference in the nozzles to be rather distinct. The difference between the two nozzles at first listen might appear quite subtle, but rest assured that it actually is quite distinct, as it does not change the tonal color on offer. The silver nozzle enables a V-shaped signature with an elevated upper mids, while the gold nozzle maintains a V shape. On the whole, the EW300 has a sweet, natural, warm character that is paired with good levels of dynamics. Also, just to note, they do sound quite a bit better with some burn in, so if you get a pair, I suggest giving them a few hours of music for them to settle down. Equipment used for this review will include a Lotu Paul Gold Touch Titanium and a Luxury and Precision W4. Also, the review is mainly done with the silver nozzle on. Bass. Bass on the EW300 is one where it is a bit more sub-bass forward, taking up more of the bass presence. They still maintain a meaty rendering of mid-bass, as I found that the transition to mid-bass to be quite linear and devoid of any sort of scoop. This results in a bass section that is dynamic and exciting to listen to. Simgot did a great job using the bass to complement the planar mid-range, as I found them to be largely cohesive. Bass resolution is strong on the EW300. If you are a bassist, you can easily listen out for the style of bass guitar that is used. Bass runs on the EW300 is always a treat to listen to. It also goes really low with fantastic rumble. Listening to Crowd Loose, there you are on the 12th second of that track. The sub-bass rumble here is simply epic. Transients here is fast and that is greatly appreciated. Mid-range, as mentioned, the different nozzles do cause quite a shift in the mid-range perception. Both nozzles work well and maintain the overall tonal color of the EW300. The difference would be that the silver nozzle is a bit more upper mid forward while the gold is a little more laid back. What is cool about the EW300 is that despite me using the silver nozzles for this review, I actually found that it does a great job for male vocals. Crowd Lou sounds amazing. Yes, I am currently binging on his albums. Female vocals here too carry good emotive energy and the slightly elevated upper mids allow for that. Resolution here is impressive. Instruments here just sound super crisp with very good texture. This in turn creates a strong layering performance. Treble, as rendered by the piezoelectric tweeter, it does a lovely job balancing out the top end with the rest of the frequency range, providing good shape and air to the mid-range and treble. Sibilance was not a thing that I noticed on the EW300 and there is beautiful levels of air, incredible at this price point. Soundstage, width and height both are good and renders a stage likened to that of a concert venue such as a live house. Depth is great and improved the more I listen to the EW300. Bass improved quite substantially with burn-in and I enjoyed its dynamics, which in turn allows for good depth. Positioning has been lovely as it renders instruments very crisply, allowing for strong positioning. Next up, some comparisons. Firstly, versus the DUNU Titan S2. Now, the DUNU Titan S2 has a beautiful chassis that will remind you of the original Titan's DNA. The Titan S2 here has a beautiful shiny chassis with one single dynamic driver inside it powering its sonics. Sonically, the Titan S2 is a warm IEM that renders vocals rather sweetly. It, however, does not have the resolution to match the EW300. The EW300 is technically more capable than the Titan S2. Sure, it isn't as outright warm as the Titan S2, but with the gold nozzle, I think it can be a good similar-ish signature, but with better technicalities. Next up, versus NF Audio's most recent RA15. The NF Audio RA15 is NF Audio's latest offering and it manages to offer class-leading resolution at the sub $100 price bracket. It has a V-shaped signature with elevated upper mids, which is kind of similar to what the EW300 does. I found that the RA15 to outresolve the EW300 as it just renders fine details slightly better. But the EW300 on the other hand is a bit more fun with good levels of dynamics in the lower end. Pairing that with actually really still great resolution, I think it's a fun choice. Now, these are some things that I like and dislike about the EW300. There is quite a bit of things to like on the EW300. I admire Simgot for daring to try new things with a new driver setup that isn't common. They managed to tune an excellent earphone that delivers on tone and resolution. Also, the accessories provided matches the EW300 really well. I found that the ear tips provided really suited the EW300. Next up, for some things that I do not like, well, there really isn't much to dislike on the EW300. I know this is just nitpicking, but maybe they can provide another set of ear tips, perhaps with a smaller ball for folks to swap out. So next up, let's go to ratings. Packaging on the EW300 is good with lots of flair added, making them very interesting rather than some brands that just plot their IEMs at the front of it and calling it a day. Packaging wise, it is certainly good. Bass on the EW300 has great resolution and beautiful dynamics, one that has been tuned with great consideration and as such deserve a solid 8 out of 10. Resolution, comparing to the competition such as the Tangent 4U or DUNU Titan S2, the EW300 is more resolving than those and performs very strongly, a 7.5. Soundstage, as mentioned, the EW300 sounds like a live house, not the widest nor the tallest, but a very lovely, nice small outfit. I like how it renders both depth and positioning on the EW300 that makes them super addictive to listen to, a strong 8. Lastly, the most important category in the rating system, the enjoyment factor. This is based on how much I enjoyed the IEM, and the EW300 is a solid A+, one that I will easily recommend to anyone. Finally, in conclusion, kudos to Simgot at innovating at a cheapy price point with the EW300. This is a tri-brid on the cheap and one that is exceptionally well done. Once again, thank you guys for watching the Supercharged Super Audio Show. If you like the channel, please kindly press the like and subscribe button. If you have already done so, you are a blimey fantastic person. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching the Supercharged Super Audio Show, and I hope to see you guys very soon.